Well, first of all, thank you for calling me Lucky Charm for Midcon. So having a positive approach it brings bliss to our life.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Great Principles. I am Seema Choria. I bring to you another exceptional educator from the world of Indian academia. Dear viewers, the world knows and recognizes the late Shakuntala Devi, who was an Indian mathematician of great stature. My guest today is a jealous mathematician who has a habit of multiplying her success stories as an educator, thus providing her theorem of learning pedagogy correct. Her leadership has channeled through these trying times, bringing her school an influx of admissions where other schools have seen a considerable drop. Our guest today, Ms. Monica Chabra, principal at Midcon International School, Pune, has the numbers to prove that one not only changes, but one also leads the world by example. She has walked the talk and met these challenging times heads on successfully. A postgraduate in mathematics, phew, that's an accomplishment in itself. It's our great honor and privilege to welcome Miss Monica Chabra, principal at Midcon International School, Pune. Welcome to Great Principles, ma'am.
Thank you, Seema. Thank you for providing me this opportunity, and it's great to be on this platform.
So, ma'am, to begin with, you are pursuing a doctorate in education. So that calls a lot of reading, learning, and taking notes. Besides, you have many other roles to play on a personal and professional front also. So please do share this secret of time management with us. How do you do this?
Seema, I would say that the biggest secret that keeps me motivated and keeps me get going, whether it's professional sphere or personal sphere, family, whatever. So it is to enjoy what I'm doing. Whatever I am doing, I have to be passionate about it. I am. And that's the reason I'm able to, do justice to all these roles that I'm playing. And I also like to separate the times by following a flexible schedule, wherein, I'm able to focus at the task in hand and be truly present at every moment. So I would say practicing mindfulness is the mantra, because that makes you be alert, be mindful and focused on the task at hand. And then it brings in discipline automatically. So when you are at home, you're thinking about home, you're with your family and enjoying with them. And when you are at school, then that way you are completely focused at what work, what tasks you have at hand. Also, besides this, it is very important that we are very diligent, and we are besides being focused, unless and until we have that passion for what we are doing. So when I'm doing PhD, I have that passion of learning and doing the research. So that keeps me going, and that's how I find time, and I'm able to balance time for everything.
All right, so here's the all secret, ma'am. I've shared that you need to enjoy what you do, practice mindfulness, and automatically everything is going to fall in place. And you will never be short of time then. As people keep complaining, time hi nahi hai. Everyone has 24 hours in the. It's just how well do you manage it?
Right, very rightly said.
So yes. Going ahead, ma'am, as I mentioned earlier, also how you turned around the numbers of admissions at Midcon International School. So it seems like you are a lucky charm out there. And also, ma'am, you've got rolling through success and through your leadership. So what you do differently? How did you achieve this feat wherein other schools were, struggling with the numbers, especially in these COVID days?
Well, first of all, thank you for calling me Lucky Charm for Midcon. That's lovely to hear. Okay, so what I think is that there's no road to success without challenges, but determination and having a positive mindset is what facilitates success. And according to me, good leaders are those who always take the onus of their decisions, and you have to take the team along with you. Basically, in schooling, what I feel is that, and which has also helped me to reach this level, is being approachable to your staff, to the students, to the parents. And because this leads to having very constructive interactions And thus it also helps to grow the complete institution as a family. So it's very important, and that's what we have followed also. We keep a very transparent approach and keeping the holistic development of students as our utmost priority, taking genuine feedback from parents without, any kind of hesitation, and considering, the school operations as a parent partnership program. So schooling is not just at our end. So schooling is in the classroom, it's outside. We have to involve the entire community also. So considering schooling as parent partnership program also has helped a lot. And I've never believed that commercial marketing of a school helps. Instead, I feel that when you are committed and you deliver what you have, promised to the parents at the time of admission, what you have showcased to them, then your parents, your students become your brand ambassadors. And instead of the commercial marketing, they spread. So by word of mouth, the reputation spreads, and people have that conviction that yes, the school is able to provide what it is committing, what it is showcasing. And that's how, the numbers also increase, because children are the greater assets these days, isn't it? For everyone. So an investment where they get proper results is what they would like to go for. So this happens only when they have conviction. And that can be done by proving yourself by the results, by grooming the students in the way that, and that is expected from any school. So overall, all-round development, I would say. So the motto we have is quality learning rather than quantity learning. Yeah. So besides that, what I feel is creativity is what makes success. So being creative while tackling different tasks, finding solutions, or developing strategies. So that gives me new ideas, and that's how has helped us grow and will help us grow in future also.
Absolutely, ma'am. Definitely, So the leadership qualities coupled with the making parents involved in decision making and sticking to your ethos, that is providing quality education. That is what a parent or a student look for when they enroll in an education institute. That along with academic, a child is holistically developed. So, ma'am, rightly said, do what you are ought to, and results are bound to come.
Yes. Very rightly said.
Going ahead, ma'am. Today, education is a dire need of holistic approach, as I told you. So all-inclusive approach to learning, how this can be achieved, and would you please tell us 3 strands of learning?
Well, yes, of course, education is much more than, just developing the mind. And it has to focus on nurturing all the aspects of a child so that the child is able to face the world, the competitive world, and the child is able to do well, not just financially, but also at the emotional platform and also socially. So basically the 3 strands of learning, what I feel are to be, competent intellectually, to be engaged socially, and to be ethical morally. And these can be done, this can be incorporated by developing their cognitive skills, by developing their social or interpersonal skills, and also developing their emotional skills. So this leads to a holistic development of the child, because these skills reinforce each other. Of course, they are interrelated, and they kind of lead to psychosocial development and developing psychosocial competencies of the students. So this is very important, and they also develop the self-efficacy, self-esteem of the students. So how can we, so when we talk about cognitive skills, it is basically developing their critical thinking, their logical reasoning, their creative thinking, and problem solving skills. So these are very important, because then they try to analyze the information that they get in a very objective way, and then they have a reasoned judgment, okay, and they are able to apply. So whenever a child and whenever a student or a person is in a challenging situation, if the critical thinking skills and logical reasoning skills are strong, then they stepwise, kind of make a flow chart that, okay, these are the challenges and this is how I have to conquer them and emerge out of it successfully. Right. So they are also kind of, they become more employable, I would say. Absolutely. And they understand the world around them better. So cognitive skills, of course, are very important. When we talk about making them engaged socially, so their social and interpersonal skills should also be developed, because this is what they use to make connections with people, and that is what which makes us human. Okay, so empathy, effective communication, interpersonal relations. So these are of great importance. And it's not just verbal communication that we should think of. It is always the body language that is important. I mean, if a child is going to give an interview, how firmly the child is shaking hands, or how the child is, the student or the person is having eye contact with the other people. Okay, so the body language, the eye contact, the conversational skills, and how the person is able to initiate a topic or elaborate on it. And if there's a conversation going on, how relevantly he's able to speak about that topic. Yeah, so that is very important aspect of conversation, and hence of social skills also. Very important how a person is able to take criticism constructively. Okay, that helps a student, a person to grow further. Okay, and being an active listener also helps. So social skills are very important, because then that's how they are engaged with the society in a positive manner. Besides that, as I said, emotional skills, these are also of utmost importance. In fact, we all have faced this and experienced that during the time of pandemic, there have been lots of cases where, people have faced emotional crisis. So this, if we talk about educating the mind without educating the heart, I think education is incomplete. So it is very important that we consider the emotional aspect of the students also, because these days there's so much of stress, anxiety, peer pressure, mood swings, that are prevalent. So it's important that we conduct counseling sessions for students. We tell them about various exercises, the breathing exercises. We teach them how to cope up with stress, with the emotional issues, and how to deal with emotionally challenging situations. So at times, because of low esteem or low confidence, the child is not able to reach to his fullest potential. So it's very important that we make them emotionally sound. That's why emotional well-being is very important. And so few things like having a let go attitude, staying calm, living a life that's empowering to you. So this is very important. And instead of comparing yourself with others, we should always teach the students to compare themselves with themselves, because that's how you understand that, okay, yesterday I was here and now I have improved. So I would say that always comparing with others would make you better, but comparing with yourself will make you better. So that's how I think these, emotional skills, social interpersonal skills, and cognitive skills are very important for all-round and holistic development. And that's what we focus at, even at Midcon International School.
So wonderful school, which is following on these three basic principles on developing the child on three skills: cognitive, social, and interpersonal, and emotional skills, the must needed in today's days. So ma'am has very beautifully explained the need of, imbibing these skills in the children for a better future. So going ahead, ma'am, you're a mathematician and educator, and I'm sure there must be long list of achievements already that you have. But here I would like to ask you, do these recognition and awards help you as a leader in the education field?
Okay, so talking about awards and recognition, so it is for sure a great way to provide recognition to leaders or to hard workers. And it also provides platform, to create connections and to learn from each other. And also it's like a testimony to the hard workers, that those who serve others, or who have really shown dedication in their areas of work. So for sure it is like that. And talking in those terms, what happens is that usually people are driven by the image a person carries. Okay, so what happens is that even when someone is felicitated with an award, so that felicitation creates a different kind of image in people's mind, and then they feel they have more faith and confidence in that person. So if you want to bring about a change in the society or in the sphere of work where you are there, so it certainly helps because people see you with that respect, and they have that kind of conviction and faith in you. So for sure it helps. However, personally speaking, I feel that, I feel motivated by, as I said, comparing myself with what I was yesterday. So it is much beyond the awards. Basically, I would say that I strive to improve myself and watch myself grow over time. So this is something that makes me feel rewarded, and that's how I take myself ahead.
Wow. So this is Monica ma'am, who believes in, becoming the better version of her own self every day. And that is her biggest accomplishment. Yes. So, and
Yes.
you rightly said, these awards and recognition, they definitely motivates the person also, and it builds an image in the society that, yes, someone has achieved something, to give them more credibility. Very rightly said, ma'am, this actually do help. Whether we agree or not, where many people are like, "Nahi, ye sab nahi, chahiye nahi, ye matter nahi karta hai." But even for our children, when you just give them a small trophy, a medal, their confidence boosts so much that they strive to become, do better and perform better.
And then you are also able to lead people in the positive direction, because then people have like, okay, so just deviating from this, why is it that for polio drops, Amitabh Bachchan was used? He was hired to advertise because people have conviction. People feel, that, okay, this person is someone that we need to follow what he says. So at times what I feel that, yes, for your own credibility and motivation, at the same time, if you want to bring about a positive change in the society, then also it helps you. It helps you because then you get support from other spheres, other people, to bring about that positive change.
Absolutely, ma'am. Very rightly said. So on this note, we reach to the very interesting segment of the show, which is called rapid fire round. So you have to answer in one word only.
All right, in one word.
So
let me be a little flexible if required.
Yeah, that I will permit, ma'am. Don't worry. So here we start with the first question. Name a school leader who inspires you.
Mahatma Hansraj. He did, start with DAV schools. So yeah, Mahatma Hansraj.
So sir inspires, ma'am. Going ahead, math or science, which is more important?
Whatever the child likes. Child's preference.
All right. Should social and emotional learning be necessary part of school curriculum?
Of course, yes.
I think we already had this answer in the previous question. Right. Yes. So what would you say is the theorem of your life?
Every cloud has a silver lining.
Wow, wonderful, beautiful. Going ahead, has MITCON applied a different approach towards learning under your directive?
Yes, and it is learner-centric approach, experiential learning and differentiated learning as per the child's needs.
So very child-centric school, providing individualized, conceptualized learning. So this segment was very brilliantly answered by ma'am, and few words also she has shared a lot of insights with us. So going ahead, ma'am, we know you as a mathematician, as an educator, someone who is leading by school and becoming better version of yourselves. But we would also like to know what you do when you're not working. What are the leisure activities you're involved in, and how do they help you?
Okay, so yes, of course, I do not restrict my complete, 24 hours, just, focusing on the work or my profession. Besides that, I love to be with my family. I love to read inspiring books. And recently I finished reading The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. And currently, being a philosophical person, I'm reading The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And these books actually keep me, very motivated and inspired. And besides that, I love to try out new dishes at home using the YouTube channels and the recipes. So that gives me a platform for more creativity. I do that. When it comes to games, I love to play chess, which is a mind game again. So yeah. I enjoy playing that. So these things, these activities in which I engage myself, it's like a self-care for me. And besides that, I'm also running an Instagram account called Bliss of Life, wherein I seek to inspire and motivate people with the motivational words. And I try to connect to a larger audience. So this is how I feel, that I can keep myself young at mind and heart also.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, no, so Monica ma'am is involved into cooking. She loves playing chess and she loves reading. And she loves inspiring and motivating others by sharing the beautiful motivational thoughts in her channel. So let us know more about the bliss of life. What is bliss, ma'am? First of all, people are
Okay.
not aware. And what does living a blissful life mean here?
Bliss, I would say, according to me, it is peace and harmony, and being in harmony with what life brings to you and not shrinking away from it, maintaining your psychic equilibrium, the emotional well-being of a person. All this contributes to a blissful life. And otherwise, life can be a very roller coaster ride, I would say. But a lot depends on our mindset, our approach towards it. So having a positive approach it brings bliss to our life. It can be by meditation. It can be having a thought process of what you say, Kutumbakam. Vasudev Kutumbakam. So that removes evils like jealousy, insecurity, anger, and it brings in peace and harmony. So this is how I feel that one can find bliss in life and lead a blissful life, I would say.
So positivity is all around us. It's up to us to look at it, to feel it by practicing mindfulness, practicing meditation, and keeping calm at our own end. So
Yes.
automatically everything will turn around beautiful. So, ma'am, what is today's mantra for a blissful life?
Today's mantra for a blissful life is do not see. Okay. So what I would repeat that every cloud has a silver lining to it, because difficulties are like clouds that overshadow the positive aspect of your life, or they cover the sun when they pass overhead, but then that certainly leads to better situations. So be patient and have faith in yourself with determination, dedication, and also discipline. For sure, any person can break the glass ceiling and achieve success. So whether that success need not be just materialistic, it can be related to your peace of mind and whatever goals you want to achieve. So being optimistic is the mantra, and being persistent is also an important aspect of it in pursuing your goals. So I would say every cloud has a silver lining, so don't give up. You do not lose when you are defeated, you lose when you quit. So one should not quit and carry on.
So thank you, ma'am, for sharing this mantra with us of optimism and persistence and not giving up and going ahead with whatever life brings in. I just remember watching this Karate Kid movie with my daughter a few days back, which had this very beautiful message that life will knock you down several times. It's up to you. How do you want to make a comeback? So, life always will bring something or the other. It's all up upon us. How do we shape us? And that is what ma'am is also guiding us here. So it was, a really very wonderful conversation with ma'am that, it's our life and it's our duty to make it beautiful. It's our duty, if you keep cribbing about this is not happening, that is not happening, you will always be sad. So, happiness lies within us. We just need to find it. And today, ma'am has taught us this. So thank you for this wonderful insight, ma'am.
I would also like to say that the reins of happiness are in your hands. Yeah. So live a life that's empowering to you, and be responsible for your own happiness instead of, blaming the situations.
Absolutely. One is himself responsible for everything that is happening to him, good or bad. So if we just start looking at the other side, we will be able to see what life has for us. So thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing us such beautiful insights of living a blissful life, on leadership, on 3 strands of learning, and of how we can build up a better parent and student relationship in school. So thank you so much, ma'am, for a wonderful session here, and I'm sure my viewers are going to get a lot of insights from this. It was really lovely to have you, ma'am.
Thank you, Seema. I also enjoyed the session. Thank you so much.